Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping by for yet another video. I do appreciate that, and as always, I appreciate you. So what we have here says Bali's fiery volcano could end up temporarily cooling the entire planet. Here you can see a still photo here from yesterday, November 28th, as black smoke was seen on top of Mount Agung. Goes on to say that the Indonesian island of Bali, a volcano called Mount Agung, is spewing ash 5.5 miles into the sky, causing flight cancellations and trapping thousands of tourists and locals on the island, even as the potential for a bigger eruption looms. It says that authorities have closed Bali's international airport for 3 days due to fear of ash damage to aircraft engines, but plan to reopen it briefly to get people off the island. More than 100,000 people near the volcano were told to evacuate as explosions were heard more than 7 miles away. It says you can watch the eruption on Mount Agung in this live stream. So let's take a quick look at this video here. This is the current live stream, so we'll just take a look at this real quick and see what it may show us. I mean, there's so much ash and gas being spewed right now, like you can almost not even see the actual It goes on to say that Indonesia's National Disaster Management Authority warned Monday that the eruptions are increasing and declared the highest alert level for the volcano. An Indonesian government scientist said a larger eruption is possible, but also the current levels of the lava, ash, sulfur, and carbon dioxide emissions could continue for weeks. You can see the ongoing volcanic activity in the Indonesia on this live map. So I mean, it's this could go on for weeks and weeks. And it goes on to say that as Denison University volcanologist Eric Clementi noted on Twitter, no one knows how current eruption will pan out. Now it says Bali has a tragic history with Mount Agung, as you can see in this old-time newsreel. So this right here is some video of the actual volcano from 1963. So we'll go ahead and watch that real quick. Now it says in 1963, Mount Agung's eruption killed more than 1,600 people on the island over several months, and it was merely a moderate eruption. Diana Roman, a geologist at the Carnegie Institute of Washington, told the Washington Post, so locals are understandably unnerved. As we finish up watching this video here, let's see if it should show us anything else. I don't think it's really going to show us too much anything else on that. But it says, but beyond the threat of local devastation, the current eruption of Mount Agung has potential to impact the entire world. It says a single volcano can mess with the whole planet's climate. So scientists have long understood that volcanic eruptions can nudge the planet's thermostat for months as millions of tons of gases and particles spread through the atmosphere. It says how much the needle moves, however, depends on what's being erupted, according to NASA climate scientist Chris Kalos. Now it says most eruptions do have a meaningful climate impact, and so the risks associated with the eruption are limited to the nearby population, he wrote in an email. For climate, the big thing to pay attention to isn't the ash, but the sulfur emissions. He says that gases like sulfur dioxide spew from volcanic craters during an eruption, hiding among billowing ash. These sulfur compounds react in the sky to form substances that scatter sunlight, thereby cooling the planet. So you can see here is this. It goes on to say data from NASA Aurora satellite shows high SO2 concentrations from Mount Agung yesterday in Bali, Indonesia. People on the ground witnessing the volcano emitting thick ash clouds and glowing lava. So you could see here, it goes on to say that how much volcanic eruption cools the planet depends on the amount of material it erupts, how high it reaches, and the composition of that material. Eruptions can also change the global rainfall patterns. Scientists are also toying with the controversial idea of imitating volcanoes to keep global warming in check. a strategy known as geoengineering. It says this includes deliberately seeding clouds or spraying sulfuric acid into the stratosphere to offset some of humanity's impacts on the world's climate. Well, doesn't that sound exactly like chemtrailing? Haven't they been doing this for years already? Right? Isn't that basic? I don't know what they're spraying up there, but even not to get off topic, but even around here, shortly before, a couple hours before sunset, here in Ohio even, and I'm not the only one, but you'll see like some days up to 15 planes chemtrailing, and that's no lie. But it goes on to say, we don't know yet whether the ongoing eruption in Bali will pump out enough gas and ash to have a measurable impact on the climate, but we do know that the 1963 eruption on Mount Agung knocked down global temperatures between 0.1 and 0.2 degrees Celsius for a year. It says the most recent volcanic eruption that pushed down the planet's temperature was Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines in 1991. The eruption injected roughly 10 million metric tons of sulfur into the sky. The 1963 Agung eruption emitted about 6 million metric tons of sulfur. So, I think I'm going to leave it there. There's not much more information to really get into. So, basically what they're saying is, depending on the amount of sulfur acid that is getting sprayed into the stratosphere, is going to determine, just how much this continuing eruption could possibly cool the planet. They said the 1963 eruption was just a moderate eruption, and here we're back to seeing the live video right now of Mount Agung, but it's like if the 1963 eruption was just a moderate one and still, was able to cool the planet, but even at only 0.1, 0.2 degrees for a year, this seems like a much more major eruption. It's supposed to be going on for at least possibly weeks. So, I don't want that to happen, but we're going to have to wait and see, obviously. So as more info comes out on Mount Agung or any more eruptions, I'll get that out to you guys. But thanks for watching the channel and supporting the channel. We're growing every day because of you, and I can't appreciate you guys enough for that. But other than that, be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below. I hope you have a great day. Peace.